Today we're in for a treat. 3 Boss elixirs that Maya and I will unbox, share our first impressions, review, and come back a week later just to see how we feel about them. I think it's going to be a good one. Let's get to it. Okay, let's unbox them. Right, tell me if you actually ever smelled any fragrances from Boss at all.
A long time ago.
Right.
From what I can remember, they were very like classic masculine fragrances. There was nothing special about them. That's why I don't think I recall them that much.
Fair enough.
It was a long time ago.
Okay. I can ask you if you're not going to be looking on the back because they've got the notes on the back, so we don't want to kind of spoil the surprise how they smell. So let's just get mine open. By looking at the boxes, how do you feel? What do you think these are going to smell like?
I would say definitely I would think they should smell masculine, quite classic, like typical masculine fragrances. And from looking at the box, I would say this one should be the most like sophisticated maybe one. Maybe because the shape of a bottle is different, and also like the box color is also different from all those three. So we'll see.
Fair enough, fair enough. Also, definitely, if I can just kind of give you a bit of a hint, these are from similar line. This one here, the SCENT ELIXIR, is slightly different. So obviously, I don't know exactly how they're going to respond. To be honest, I didn't pay too much attention to Boss releases. I'm sorry, Boss. The only one that I really actually know very well is Boss Bottled, the original. But after that, to be honest, there were so many releases that I just didn't try them. But of course, these are supposed to be one of the best ones at the moment. So hopefully they will deliver.
Yeah, let's check out.
Let's check out. Okay, right, let's get them out of the packaging because we don't want to look at the back. Okay, right, let's get our paper strips and we will do our ratings as well so we can share them. You say you want green. Okay, which one are we starting with?
Let's go with this one.
Okay, let's give it a try. Right, so Boss Elixir was the SCENT ELIXIR. Let's get that on the side. Decent sprayer. Okay. One there. One for me. Very aromatic straight away, isn't it? Okay. That will go on my hand as well because, you know,
yeah, it will be nice to actually see
sometimes
how
it just smells slightly different when you put it on the skin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Let's put in a shot here as well. Okay, so okay, shall we just put our ratings just quickly? Okay, are we trying another one? Okay, so let's go for the Boss Bottled Elixir.
Green bottle, yeah.
Yeah, so the green one. Let's try with the this one here. Decent sprayer. Okay, one for you. I think I know what you're going to say. Let's put on the skin as well, just in case. Did you already rate it?
Yeah, I did.
Do you want to just give it a try, just in case?
It's actually very similar to how it smells on the paper.
And just like my rating. Right, so let's get the third one. Boss Bottled Triumph Elixir. Let's try this one. Sorry, I wanted to try it straight away.
Yeah.
Let's just actually put it somewhere up here.
Yeah, somewhere away from the others. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, so the SCENT ELIXIR. What do you think about this one?
It's quite floral, I would say.
Okay.
Like herbal a little bit, but I like it. It's also quite fresh, even though it's a bit powdery and intense, but it's still fresh. It's not overwhelming, I would say. I do like it.
Okay, no, I agree. It's very fresh, very aromatic. When we sprayed the first thing,
Very aromatic, yeah.
it was just like filling the room straight away. Warm,
Yeah.
bit sweet, in my opinion.
There is a little bit of sweetness. I agree. Yeah, I can smell it too.
And there can definitely something woody in it. Just when you kind of just go in.
Can I check it on your hand?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But it's not overwhelming. It's not like you're smelling it and it's like, oh my god, it's too strong. No, it's actually really nice.
There is something candy-like in it as well. Like when you try it on my strip, at least when you kind of go first in.
Yeah, the sweetness. Yeah, but I feel for me personally, it's really well balanced between the sweetness, freshness, and the like intensity of it.
Right. Yeah. It is a very pleasant one. I don't think it will offend anybody. It is kind of one that essentially everybody would like straight away.
I would say it's quite universal. Yeah.
And when would you say would be the best to kind of wear this one? Would it be slightly warmer times, cooler, evenings, days?
I would say probably like an afternoon event. Because it's quite universal. I can imagine it on someone wearing it like during a summer and also like a winter and autumn. I would say
because
like all year round. Yeah.
In it, so they can just kind of heat you up a bit.
It's universal. I would say that's the key word.
Yeah.
It's universal. Yeah, and it's well balanced and it's not too overwhelming. So that's why I can imagine it for different occasions.
So very versatile.
Like a one fit all.
Fair enough. Yeah, one fit all. Yeah.
I can imagine like lots of people will find something interesting in it. Because there is no like one very specific thing being very characteristic about it. It's well balanced, basically.
Would you say a bit more kind of casual or kind of well dressed?
I would say more casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be if someone would like to wear it on like a very official event. Why not? Yeah.
I don't think
it wouldn't stand out. Yeah, it wouldn't stand out very much. It wouldn't be very like very sophisticated, but it's actually really nice.
Yeah, it wouldn't be out of place. It would be kind of just fit in, wouldn't it? Because as we said initially, it is kind of just not offensive. It is just kind of, I won't say generic, but
it's nicely blending in. Yeah,
it's just pleasant. It's just nice. But it's a nice, rounded, balanced fragrance that has a lot of different aspects in it. Okay, right. Shall we show our ratings? How do we rate this one?
So 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. I did 7 out of 10.
Quite close.
Very, very close. No, I really, truly like it. It is, as we said, very universal and just nice fragrance. It's going to be interesting to see how it performs throughout the day.
Definitely, yeah.
Is it going to develop a bit more, or is it going to be a bit more linear in terms of its performance and the notes development? So it will be very interesting to see.
And to see actually if it will change on your skin as well, if it will give like different notes. Because of course on the paper that's just a first impression.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it would be nice to see it. It is slightly different. It's less sweet comparing to the paper strip.
The initial sweetness kind of just fades away a bit. Okay, right. So we just discussed this one. Let's get to
the second one.
The second one, which was the
yes,
the Boss Bottled Elixir. Right. What do we think about this one?
Yeah, I also do like it. I would say this one is more masculine, and
Mhm.
it gives more of a like a woody or incense sticks notes. There is something ashy about it, like
Mhm.
earthy,
Yes.
and but it's still fresh and
Mhm.
it's still well balanced. I can smell sweetness in here comparing to the previous one. No, not that much. No, it's not.
No, no, it's definitely
It's more
kind of
earthy,
just
yeah.
toned down a bit. It's not as present as with the other one. The other one, the sweetness and kind of um, aromatic notes usually just come first. With this one, I think yes, I agree, definitely something more woody and ashy in it.
So that's something you need to like those tones to actually enjoy it. So it's
Yeah,
not probably for everyone, but I do personally like it.
it's a bit more mature, isn't it?
Yes.
So potentially a bit more formal,
More formal, 100%.
rather than just
Yeah.
a bit playful. Now going to like a
Some more official events.
yes, a bit more dressed up,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And we would potentially say more evenings.
Probably yeah.
Hmm.
And I would say more like a winter than summer.
Yeah,
Autumn, winter.
yeah, it could be a bit
Cold
too
spring.
much. Yeah, it could be too much.
How's on your skin?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's aromatic as well, but on the earthy side. More herbal, more like ashy. And
Definitely herbs in there. There is woody notes, and something incense-like.
yeah, when we actually burn the incense sticks, you can actually smell something similar. It's not
Okay.
exactly the same, but there is something about that always goes around when you do it.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Well, let's have a look on the ratings. What do we rate this one?
8.5 out of 10.
Interesting.
Oh,
I did 6.
that is different.
Okay, so you like it more than the scent elixir?
Yeah, because it has something characteristic about it, something different, and actually that's something I like personally. I mean, it's actually upgrading the smell. Like if we're comparing these two,
I'm a bit surprised because normally I rate higher the more earthy and woody ones,
yeah, exactly.
which is something that you not always like when I wear. I think it's going to grow with me because now it becomes a bit better on my skin, and I think it will perform quite well because there is like an initial clear cut with the notes, so I don't think it's going to change as much, but it's going to be a bit more linear, and it's always going to be delivering in terms of performance. But at the moment, I'm not like excited about it, but 6 out of 10, it's a decent score. I think depending on how it performs, that's going to be interesting to see, and potentially I will change my rating, which we're gonna obviously review next week. So we'll come back to it. Okay, so this one is done. Let's get to the last one.
it smells like slightly different now with time.
I personally would say when we sprayed it for the first time,
It was different.
it was much different. There was something kind of chemical-like a window cleaner.
Oh, to me it was something. It smelled to me like the nail polish remover, like one of the ingredients from the nail polish remover. I don't know why, but my initial reaction was like, oh, that's really synthetic.
Okay. Yeah, there was some kind of chemical-like scent initially. It faded away. It's gone now. It is
not entirely.
Not entirely.
To me, not entirely. Especially on your skin. On the paper, yeah. That's why I said it's different. On your skin, I can still smell this like nail polish remover ingredient that I can smell when I'm just sometimes removing my nail polish. But on paper strip, it faded. But still, it sways in the direction of something synthetic to me, like a rubbery. So actually, I'm afraid not my favorite out of these three. I would say.
Fair. Okay, we're already going there.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah, it's the least favorite. Yeah, out of those three.
I think there's something similar, obviously, in those two. There is a note of this ashiness and this kind of incense in it, and this woodiness, because now when I'm going, and I think it's developing a bit more. This one was a bit more linear, so the Boss Bottle Elixir was a bit more linear. This one kind of changes with time. So
there's something different comparing to like even other fragrances. It does stand out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you will like it because you might just not be a fan of that specific scent. But it is quite unique.
Okay, well, let's review how we rate it.
So mine is 5 out of 10.
Right.
Just because personally I don't like that the synthetic rubbery something in it. But it is quite unique. I'm pretty sure there will be many people that will like it. It's just not personally in my like not my favorite. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
I did
Oh,
5.5 out of 10. So I rated this one 6. This one was 7. So the scent was elixir was 7, 6, and 5.5. It's just initial impression, you know.
Absolutely.
It was just the kind of first blast of kind of synthetic smell that kind of just put me off initially.
Same.
It is growing on me. It's a mixture of something very, very fresh and light with the woodiness and earthiness of the Boss Bottled Elixir. Obviously, through testing a bit more, I may change my opinion, and you'll smell it on me as well. So you will have a bit of a potentially different angle to it as well. But it is very interesting.
It's actually quite quick, changed so quickly.
Yeah.
So it will be actually very interesting to see how it performs like throughout the day on you, especially on your skin, because it has changed. So yeah.
Okay, right. Those are our first impressions about the scents. We will move in the future now, and we will test them for a week, and we'll come back to you just to see how we feel about them, if our rating is going to change. Okay. Hey all, welcome back a week later. We had time to test the fragrances a bit more, and we will try to compare, and we will see if our initial ratings changed. So that's going to be interesting because we had more time to obviously test them. You could smell them on me. I've been wearing them for the whole week, and we've got some opinions now, I think. Okay, so shall we just start with the... Actually, we're going to go from the other end. So let's go with the Triumph. How did you rate the Triumph? And then we're going to tell you why exactly we rated it like that.
So my rate is consistent. It's 5 out of 10. It hasn't changed. It's still not my favorite. I could still smell even on you the same like chemical artificial scent of... I think I've compared that to the nail polish remover. So I could smell it even on your skin when I was passing through. So it's not my favorite, but yeah, it's 5 out of 10.
Well, fair enough. Okay, very consistent. So I rated it 5.5 initially, and now I just dropped it a bit to 5. So I have to say that my initial impression of the fragrance has slightly changed, but maybe not so much. So the chemical smell is definitely present. There's some kind of a note that has been more kind of essentially artificial because there is something in there that is doesn't smell like as natural as you would expect it to be, even like some kind of detergent. And specifically, it reminds me a car shampoo that I use, which is quite funny because there is that note, that specific note of kind of soapiness in it. So yeah, that was actually quite interesting, and it definitely, out of the bunch, it changes the most. So it's not so linear, in my opinion, when I wear it, because it's evolving. So initially it starts very chemically, you know, like some kind of detergent in there, or potentially a nail polish remover. But then after that, it just goes a bit more soapy. The whole incense is still in there. However, it just, obviously with time, it just kind of dials down, and then at the end you've got fairly similar to the Boss Bottled Elixir, the woodiness and kind of a bit more dryness in it. Performance-wise, it is actually quite okay. It is not as strong as the other ones, in my opinion. But yeah, that's why I just dropped it a bit. I think, yeah, five might be a bit harsh. However, I just, yeah, not necessarily enjoyed it on myself. I didn't enjoy it too much. However, it's a decent fragrance, you know. It's, you know, if you're looking for something that's going to be a bit soapy, a bit woody with a bit of an incense, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. However, I think these two are slightly better.
Yeah, I would say this one is the most average and most like masculine average one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's move on to the Boss Bottled Elixir. And how did you rate this one?
So I think my rate dropped from 8.5 to 6.
Okay, that's a big drop.
Yeah, it was actually quite surprising because on your skin, whenever I was like passing through and like it was slightly different. It was quite stuffy, like the air around it was quite stuffy, sour a little bit. It was not as strong as the initial like incense smell, like the woody one. After the time, like when you were coming back home or after like a few hours, I could smell more woodiness in it. But the initial like straight after spraying, it was very very like stuffy and hot around.
Okay. Okay. So you dropped it from 8.5 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, big drop. And this is the thing, initial, the initial impression might be completely different after a while. When we literally tried for the first time. We haven't tried them before, and it's natural that you sometimes, in the moment, you just, smell something and you think you enjoy it, and it just changes with time, especially when you wear it slightly more, so you can, sense it in different environments on different days.
Especially when you just sprayed it and it evaporated a little bit, it actually changed, and that stuffiness, like that hot, overwhelming note, was very present in here. So.
Okay, so let's have a look on my rating. So last week I rated it 6 out of 10, and I dropped it a bit to 5.5. Why? There's a funny story actually about the Bottled Elixir. When I was wearing it in the morning, I went for a meeting and somebody entered the room after me and they commented about a scent in the room, which was actually quite funny because they said something smells very piney, like woody, but it's like an air freshener. And I was thinking, all right, I'm not going to admit that was me, because there was more people, so they wouldn't know it was me. But it was a fair comment, to be honest. And I have to admit to that, it does have a bit of a woody, piney air freshener scent. And I have to say as well, it is, after you wear it a bit, there is something suffocating in it as well, in the way of it is a bit dusty. It is some kind of like a wood, like a wood dust potentially, but it's not necessarily pleasant. However, performance-wise, I would say it is a bit more linear, so the delivery is kind of straight from the top, and it does stay quite long on the skin. So I could sense it for a whole day, and literally after 8 or 9 hours, it was still present. A bit more skin scent, however, still very much present. So that's why I just dropped it in terms of the rating, because I like woody incensey scents. However, this one had just something that was just putting me off a bit. Performance-wise, really strong, really solid, but the scent profile not necessarily the best, and it just doesn't feel so natural. It just feels a bit artificial in terms of ingredients Boss used for this one. And to be honest, for the price tag, I was expecting slightly more. Sorry guys, not the one I will be picking up very regularly. If I wouldn't have anything else, yes, that's a nice woody, incensey, masculine scent, but maybe not one of my favorites. That's why the rating dropped a bit. Still decent though. Okay, let's move on to the SCENT ELIXIR. Right, how did you rate this one?
So originally it was 8 out of 10. It dropped to 6.
Okay.
It was on a second place last time when we viewed them. Right now, I would say, even though it has the same rating as the previous one, I would say this one is now my favorite. The drop in the rate, because whenever you sprayed it, I could smell so much of the sweetness now. Like at the time, I don't know, initially I couldn't smell that much of it, but whenever I was like passing through the room when you actually sprayed it, I thought it reminded me of one of my perfumes, so it's quite unisex, I would say. It was very, very sweet. It's still nice. I would say the best out of these three, if I would have to pick one. But that sweetness might not be everybody's cup of tea, so you really need to like sweet perfumes.
And that's actually quite a theme at the moment on the market. There's a lot of sweet fragrances that people are actually really liking. However, I always struggle with sweet fragrances, because whenever you smell something sweet, you just kind of have a reference to something that you have. You would think that's more feminine, maybe a bit more unisex type of a scent. So I have to have a very fair balance, in my opinion, whenever I'm looking for a sweet masculine scent. There's a very, very thin line for me when it's still fairly masculine, but it has the sweetness. but if it's going towards the more feminine, I'm always going to be rating it slightly lower. So last week I gave it 7. Actually, I increased it to 7.5. It actually grew on me, and does have this nice balance and this all-round. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's, as you said, it's very sweet. It does have a bit of a masculine woody notes in there, and I have to admit that it really projects. So when you spray it in the room, straight away it fills the room. It's very, very aromatic. It is a bit spicy initially, but the sweetness comes first. And every time I've been wearing this one, and I've been on a couple of meetings as well, and same situation, it was in the room where somebody entered after me. Somebody mentioned how nice something smells in the room. They couldn't pinpoint who was it, because there was a couple of people in the room, but they always said that there's some kind of nice scent lingering in the room. So it projects really well. So even after 2 to 3 hours, it's still quite present. So that's why I just increased the rating, because it is actually a very good scent. Nothing groundbreaking, as we said. However, like a nice, sweet, masculine fragrance, they will definitely enjoy wearing, and it will be noticed. It's fairly linear in terms of the scent profile. It doesn't develop that much. However, it really delivers with the notes and the kind of performance that really works quite well.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable when you're coming back home, like after a few hours. Yeah, I can still smell it. So yeah, it does perform.
Well, super, there we have it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you want more content like this, let us know in the comments below. Definitely subscribe and like the video. And until next time, take care, see ya.
Bye.